Welcome to another one-on-one Notary Coach with me, Mark Wills. And if you're watching this right now and you're hearing this voice, it's because you are watching this on replay. And I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day so you can be a better notary signing agent. Every single Monday, I try my best to jump on and help notaries from around this country build their businesses. So I want to make sure that I say hello to everybody out there watching this live. And again, if you're watching this on replay, watch every single one. So I want to make sure that I can help you as much as I can. Remember, you do not need to be a loan signing system student to get my coaching. It is absolutely free. And I want to help you build a business as much as I can. So it's very simple. Go right there, hit this little button right there, hit the add camera icon, and I will help you the best I can in the 5 minutes that we have so I can help you. What's up, what's up?
Hey,
Hello, how are you?
fabulous. How are you?
Good, good. So tell everybody your name, where you're from, and let's have a conversation.
Oh, my name is Tracy Anderson Bolden, and I'm from Suffolk, Virginia.
Oh, I love it. So how can I help you today? Virginia in the house.
Yeah, finally. Um, so I am trying to figure out the best way, since I do this part-time, to fit everything into my schedule.
Yeah, I like it.
So
Yeah.
it's a little interesting.
Okay,
So help.
let me break it down for you. So my favorite analogy is this. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever people say, Mark, how do I make time for this? Mark, I got too many things I'm doing. I want to build my business, but I just don't seem to have the time. I get that all the time. So the way I coach my other students is I'm going to coach you the exact same way. So do you have any children?
They're
Tracy?
all grown.
Okay, cool. Even better analogy. So when your kids was in school, right? And and you are slammed busy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever forget to pick up any of your kids from school?
No,
No matter how busy you were, correct?
correct.
You could have the worst day. You could have your boss is getting mad at you. You could be slammed, but what did you never forget?
My
Your
babies,
babies. Why?
because they're my babies.
Because you're the most important to you.
Mm-hmm.
So my coaching is the same. You have to make a decision, how important is this business to you? Because just like your babies, if it's that important, you will find time. You will prioritize this versus other things. People always ask me, what's the magic bullet? The bullet is you prioritizing this business. One of the answers could be this business isn't that important to me. That is fine, but we all have time. What we have to get straight is our priorities. I got a kid, right? I would never forget. I don't care if I had 14 meetings, if I had my house was on fire, I would never not pick up my son.
Mm-hmm.
Because so it's really not relative to how much time that we have. What's relative is how important is this business. So the answer to the question is you can fit this in when you feel like it's important to fit in. So for something to fit in, something has to go. So just like I said, just like with your babies, you never didn't pick them up. Something had to go in order for you to make time to pick them up. So you made a decision in your mind, well, my babies are more important than this.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is what's more important to building your business? That's a you question. So we all have time. The question is how big of a priority is something? Does that make sense? So the way you build this business, Tress, is by prioritizing it. It's by moving something out of your schedule because this is more important to fit into your schedule. Did that make sense?
Yeah, perfect sense.
Because there's really no other magic sauce. Because like I said, when something's important to you, you make time for it. And when it's not that important to you, then you make excuses why you shouldn't do it. And so when I tell my students, always say, Mark, I don't have time, that's not the right statement. What you haven't done is prioritize your business, which is an okay thing to say. Just say that out loud. Like my business right now is not a priority, which is okay to say. Yeah. But what's not okay to say is I don't have enough time. Because we all have time. What we don't have is a list of priorities. That makes sense? Yeah. So look, what I would say though to this, and everybody listening who says they don't have time, but what you don't need to do is this. So here's my favorite coaching. Did that analogy land a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now here's the coaching. I think a lot of times people get overwhelmed because they feel like they need to remove 8 things from their schedule so they fit time for the business. I challenge you, you don't. I challenge all you got to do is find maybe 15 minutes a day in your schedule to start your business activities, because what happens, momentum creates momentum. So what happens, like for the first week, if you're like, you know what, Mark, I can squeeze in 15 minutes a day to start signing up with signing services. Mark, I can figure out 15 minutes a day to start making lists of escrow of real estate attorneys near me. So if we just fit in a little bit more time, not a ton of new time, just a little bit more of new time, then what happens is 15 minutes turns into 30, 30 turns into 45, 45 turns into an hour. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So my coaching to you is just ask yourself, how big of a priority is this business? And then once you're like, you know what, Mark, I get what you said. That was a slap of reality. You're right, Mark. I need to start prioritizing my business. Then I would challenge you, don't try to fit in an hour of your day. Just try to fit in 15 minutes. If you squeeze in 15 minutes a day for a week, then next week maybe it turns to 20 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Maybe it turns into 30. So start small. You don't need to clear your whole schedule and be like, I'm going to work an hour a day every single day. So maybe what you do is just try to find 15 minutes a day, and then that 15 minutes creates momentum. Now you got 30, then you got 45, then you got an hour. Does that coaching make sense?
Yes.
So any questions or comments to what I just coached you on?
No.
Okay.
It's I do put 15 minutes a day into the business. It's just in my brain, it's like I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, what I would challenge you then, if you already do 15, make it 30. The goal in life is to grow. So if you're already doing 15, then I would say, well, start scheduling 30 then. Does that make sense? So push yourself, push the boundaries, because the business is only as important as you prioritize it. And the business is not going to grow if you don't prioritize it. That's just the truth. A lot of people want a bigger business, but they're not giving that business the time that it deserves. And then they complain they don't have time, but it has nothing to do about time. It has all to do about priorities.
Got it. Perfect.
So I believe in you. Keep pushing. You know me if you need anything at all, okay?
Got it. Thank you.
All right, let's
Appreciate
go.
you.
Bye. Wow, that was such a good conversation with Tressie. So let me just repeat the lesson that we want to take away from Tressie. As everybody always says, Mark, I don't have enough time. And that's not true. You just aren't prioritizing your business. You will always find time for things that are important to you. Have you ever not picked up your child from school? No matter how busy you are, you find an hour to pick up your child from school because it's that important. You push other things out of your schedule because not forgetting your child becomes the most important thing. When this business becomes the most important thing, you will push other things out of your schedule. So don't tell me you don't have time. What you don't have is a priority. You don't prioritize this business. Oh, I don't have time to market direct. Yeah, you do. You are just choosing not to create time to market your business correct. You're choosing not to make it a priority to market your business correct. If what I just said landed, everything will change because everybody has time. What differs is our priority levels to whatever we're working on. I could have a million excuses not to show up at 12 o'clock right now to help you, but it is a priority of mine to jump on right now to help you. So when you prioritize it, then everything changes. So we always have time. The question is, what do we move in out of our time to move into our priorities? Hope that landed for everybody. How is everybody doing? Let's go. Oh, what's up, girl? How you doing?
Hi,
Hi. Tell everybody your name and where you're from.
my name is Sante and I'm from Columbia Station, Ohio.
Oh, I love it. Oh, hi. How do you say your name one more time?
Sante.
Sanse, hello. Sanse, let's get this party started. What can I coach you through?
So I just have a question. So I receive notifications from
Yep,
SnapDocs and, I hit accept and
yep,
then I call, but
yep,
then they're closed because it's 6 o'clock in the morning
yep,
there. So then what do you suggest? Email? So then I email
yep,
and, they don't respond.
yep,
Then I get a
yep,
notification that I understand it's not going to work out every time,
yep,
but then I get a notification that it's been filled by
yep,
another notary. So is
yep.
that what you suggest if they're closed on coast to coast is closed at 6 o'clock in the morning? Just send an email
Yes.
and keep it moving?
So it sounds like you're an LSS student. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, girl, giving all the actions. I'm like, this sounds like an educated notary. So yes, that is obviously going to be the problem. Like for your version of coast to coast is the West Coast version of signature closers, right? So signature closers is a massive signing service on the East Coast, but again, there are different times than West Coast. So there's going to be a little bit of time differences on both sides. So here's my only last piece of coaching because you're doing everything perfect. Email, yes. Calling, yes. But here's what I don't want you to forget is maybe you call at noon East or West Coast time and just introduce yourselves like, oh man, I missed your signing from earlier this morning at 6, but I want to introduce yourself and ask you to mark me preferred for future. So don't forget to use that notification as a moment to start a conversation. So then you can get preferred, because now it's not out of the blue. You're like, hey, I saw the notification come over on my phone at 9 o'clock our time, got it signed. Great, I love it. But here's why maybe next time you don't use the cattle call system, call me directly. And so a lot of signing agents or students, I should say, don't remember you can do a follow-up phone call. Even though it's gone, that's not the point. The point is now you want them to mark you preferred.
Okay.
So the next time you get a notification, you're the first one to get that notification versus everybody else in your radius. Does that make sense? So
That
the
makes sense.
only missing action is utilizing that moment, so you can maybe make a phone call 3 or 4 hours later when they're in office, and then try to be like, hey, I missed your notification this morning, but here's why I think you should mark me preferred the next time you have some a signing in my area. So that is still them giving you the opportunity to call them to make sure that you get that. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense, and I will do that.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. First off, I am so proud of you because most students don't put in the effort you do. So thank you for calling. Thank you for emailing. Thank you for all that crazy stuff. So keep building, and I promise you your effort will not be in vain, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Oh my gosh, it sounds like, by the way, that we got a lot of value from that call. Hello, who do we got? What's up? What's up?
Hi,
Hi. Tell me your name, where you're from.
my name is Elaine. I am from New York City, newly commissioned notary and recently certified loan signing agent through the NNA.
First off,
And
congratulations. Big deal.
thank, thank you, thank you.
All
I'm
right.
also a recently newly accounted student for the loan
Oh, what an
signing system.
LSS Nation. Let's go.
Thank thank you.
Thank you.
So basically, my question is kind of a broad one.
Okay.
I basically am dedicating all the time that I have to
Good.
this, like that the
Yeah.
way you said earlier. Not talking down on
Yep.
anyone who doesn't have the time. I get it,
Yep.
life happens.
Yep.
But personally, I've decided to dedicate all of my time to this, so I kind of just want to hit the ground running. I recently filed for my LLC, and I got everything going for my RON, because in the state of New
Yep.
York, you have to go through an extra step
Yep.
for the RON Notary Commission. Um, and basically, my question is, I recently found out the difference between attorneys states and escrow states.
Interesting. Yep.
I'm not too sure where to
Yep.
start, because since everything is like through the attorneys, I have everything as far as marketing goes. I have postcards ready, gift bags, whatever I have to do to get someone's attention. I just don't know where to go.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so first off, I'm so proud of you. Effort equals momentum. Effort equals signings. You're doing it. Only thing I can't teach is effort, and that is you giving it 110%. So I know you're going to build this big. Okay, so a couple things. First off, is make sure you go on the loan signing system YouTube channels. We have a few New Yorkers on there. We did a full day in the life of marketing in Manhattan. I was with a signing agent
I
in.
actually did watch that
Okay,
video.
so that is the answer. Then it's real estate attorneys' offices is what you're looking for. Okay. So what I would say is this. This is for everybody listening right now. The only difference between an escrow officer and a real estate attorney is that the real estate attorneys will have in-house notaries. They're the same thing. So instead of in an escrow state, you need to be a barred attorney, right? Prove with your state bar. You're an escrow officer. And so there's no difference. So a real estate attorney is the middle person between the bank and the borrower. An escrow officer is the middle person between the bank and the borrower. They're the exact same thing. There's no difference. Does that make sense? As far as the role in the transaction. So the only reason attorney states get a bad rap is
Mm-hmm.
because attorneys' offices will have paralegals who are also the notaries. So the only reason they're like, oh, it's our, but here's the crazy part. It doesn't matter if you're in an attorney state or you're in an escrow state. 75% of signings are evenings and weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Most borrowers can't take Tuesday off of work at 11 a.m. to go sign loan docs.
Right, because
So
they
they call the real
have
estate
jobs.
attorney and they're like, hey, me and my husband can't make it down. Can you send a notary to my house at 6? So even though it's a bad rap, I'm confused why. It's very uneducated people on the internet saying it. Now, here's the truth. Your daytime business opportunities in an attorney state is less than it is an escrow state. but your evening and weekends are essentially exactly the same. The same opportunity exists. That's why, Stephen, with that interview that I did, makes $100,000 a year in Manhattan. There's still business there. So the difference is you're going to approach real estate attorneys, New York, or wherever you live. Just Google that. Real estate attorneys, Manhattan. Real estate attorneys, Bronx. We had another student in the Bronx making money too. So make sure you go watch her video. But we have a handful of students crushing it in New York City. So don't let that deter you. But the answer is simple. If you're in an attorney state, you're looking up real estate attorneys. That's what you're looking up. Now, you could look up title offices, but title offices will just refer you back to the real estate attorney.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it's still one and the same. Now, you can network with real estate agents who will all have a real estate attorney that they work with. Just like I teach in an escrow state, go work with a real estate agent because they'll refer you to an escrow officer. Same thing in an attorney state, but instead of referring you to an escrow officer, they're going to refer you to a real estate attorney. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So you're good. Now, last thing on the way out is, are you part of the attorney state Facebook group that I have for you students?
I believe so.
Okay, so Deborah Smith Owens is our resident ambassador.
Oh, I recently actually
Okay.
requested to join.
Okay, good.
I'm not in yet.
Okay, cool. So when you get in there, Deborah Smith Owens is amazing. She's your ambassador, and an attorney state is an attorney state is an attorney state, just like it doesn't matter if you're in California or Texas, an escrow state's an escrow state. So when you get in that group, there's a bunch of resources. You ever get confused on who to talk to, what to say, my course helps, but you also get that attorney state coaching from her for free, by the way. It's not more money. So utilize her as a resource. And then all you attorney state students are in the same group. So don't be afraid to be like, hey, what are people saying to real estate attorneys in your state? Because marketing in New York, same as marketing in North Carolina, same as marketing in South Carolina, right? All the same things. Delaware, Boston, Massachusetts. It is real estate attorneys are real estate attorneys. So make sure you utilize that resource. Okay. You have an ambassador. So you get I've never marketed to a real estate attorney. That's why I have an ambassador who does it. She does $300,000 a year. She gets business only from real estate attorneys. She knows how to market to them. So use that resource because that's what you paid for when you join my community. Okay.
Okay.
Did I answer all
Thank you.
that for you, Day?
You sure did.
All right. Well, go get them here if you need anything. Let's go.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh my gosh. I love when I hear students who are just like, I'm all in. I'm going to dedicate as much time as I can for this. So proud of you. Oh, hello. Oh, what's up, girl?
Hi, Mark.
How you
Hi.
been?
Good.
Okay.
Thank you
Tell
for
me your name, where you're from, and let's have a conversation.
yes, I'm Amy, and actually I'm Xiao Shigui, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. And I've been your LSS student ever since, well, I passed the exam in February, and I've been several of your coaches. And I'm really grateful for everything you do. I have some questions regarding the direct marketing to realtors. This is the recent problems I've been with. First is that I got a bunch of realtors' business card by walking to some coffee shop, not coffee shops, mail stores, and their business card is everywhere. And I got a dozen of it. And I also collected a few of the loan officers, and it's just that because the first time I meet them is through a business card, I don't know how to start a conversation because it's more about the mentality of what can I do for them? But it's kind of weird.
Got you. I got you, girl. Now, what I want to say first off is I'm so proud of you. You know, when you look for opportunity, you see opportunity. So you saw these realtors cards in a coffee shop, you grabbed them. So I want to say you're amazing. I'm going to help you with the next steps, but I want to make sure everybody heard what Amy just said. Like, she's looking for opportunity. She's finding it because her eyes are wide open. So whenever you find a card that you weren't handed, okay, like you just said, not like in a networking event, because that funnel is different. Okay, but you're getting somebody cold. So the best way to get engaged with somebody cold is through LinkedIn. Okay, so what you do is you take that card and you try to find them on LinkedIn. Okay, does that make sense? So don't email them, don't call them. It's going to come off a little forthright, but on LinkedIn, it's like, oh my gosh. So you write a message, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Amy, local signing agent here in Las Vegas. I saw your card on the coffee shop. So I want to let you know that your marketing is working. It is visible. But I would love to have the opportunity to tell you how I can help grow your business. You may think that is crazy to hear that from a notary, but I'd love to meet you for coffee, maybe at that same coffee shop, and just let you know how, working with someone that is actually beneficial to your business. So if you need to hear that again, just watch the replay. But that's how you do the warm introduction. Does that make sense? So you're coming off cold. So you got to understand this, is I would argue you'll get a 20 to 25% respond rate. Do not expect 100. Okay.
That's okay.
So, but because this is cold, but an email is a little bit too off-putting. A phone call is off-putting because they don't know you. But going through LinkedIn is a back channel where they're expecting, to a certain extent, cold conversation. That's why we're all on LinkedIn. I hope everybody heard that. So on LinkedIn, all of us, right? All of us on LinkedIn expect some type of cold conversation. So it's a very appropriate place to have cold conversations on LinkedIn. Now, what I would tell you, Amy, to increase your efforts is while you're doing this, you should also be doing Real Estate Agents Las Vegas in LinkedIn and send everybody the same cold message. Does that make sense?
Makes
Now,
sense.
what you should do is have some templated cold message and then replace their first names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're
Okay.
real ninja level, you include like their brokerage in the email so it doesn't look like a templated email. So like, hi, John, I see that you work at Compass Henderson, whatever, I'm making that up, right? So, but you
Henderson.
should have,
Okay.
yeah, I got you, girl. So you want to make sure that the emails don't come so cold. You want to be as warm on a cold email as you can. Use their first name. Use the place that they work at, right? Now, I'm going to end with this, Aim, if you want next level ninja stuff. Stalk them a little bit, girl. So like go on their LinkedIn, see where they visited, right? Maybe they talk about this new restaurant in Las Vegas, or they're talking about they just took their kids to Disneyland. Anything you can include in the cold email that makes it sound like it's not cold,
Yeah.
you win. Your chances of being responded to increase when it's less robotic and more humanized. So don't be afraid to do a little bit of research, right? Maybe go get them on Instagram real quick. They just took a trip down to San Diego. Oh my gosh, I love San Diego. I go there yearly for the loan signing system conference, right? So put something in there, but LinkedIn, I'll end with this for everybody listening. LinkedIn is an expected cold communication platform. Everybody expects to be communicating with through LinkedIn with somebody they don't know. It's why it exists. It's a networking platform. So cold messages aren't off-putting and it's not weird. Your job is to make sure you don't sound robotic in those cold messages. Did that coaching make
Okay.
sense?
Makes
Okay.
sense.
So the more personal you can make those cold messages, the more likely you're going to get a response. If you just cut and paste, my guess is you get a 10% response rate. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was that helpful at all, Amy?
Great. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay,
Before you
go.
go, I actually have another question regarding networking to realtor.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my realtor
Yeah.
yesterday and actually had a meal with her yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was doing your script and then saying whether you can assign your own
Yeah.
title officer, your
Yeah.
insurance agency. Yeah. And then I got stuck when she responded saying, but when I was doing the realtor's documents, I cannot assign notary there. It's out of my control.
Got it.
So
Well,
I
okay.
got stuck there. So the conversation just stopped.
Yeah, no, I got you, girl. That's why we do one-on-one coaching. So if you go back to that video, if you go back to the module in the course where it's like in 2 hours or something, the most important thing you forgot is the education, right? Meaning that, like, do you realize the escrow officer works for you? So you got to remind them. Some real estate agents don't understand kind of the hierarchy, right? It goes real estate agent, loan officer, escrow officer, notary. So they don't realize how much power they have. So it's an education process because so few notaries market to realtors. They're so in the blue. So you got to be like, hey, I'm not sure if you know this, but the escrow officer actually works for you. So if you tell the escrow officer, I like to use this notary, most times they'll do it just because they're trying to win your business or future business. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Now,
Yes.
let me end with this. Let me end with this, though, because here's where I don't want you getting stuck. Is your job, Amy, is to remember they don't know the benefit of having a preferred notary yet. Okay? So let me explain. Okay? I don't want you getting so robotic in the scripts that you're losing the bigger point of what I'm trying to teach you. So let me say that again to you right now. That's why we're on a coaching call. Is a real estate agent has been doing it this way for so long. They've been letting the title company pick the notary, right? They don't know the benefit of having Amy on their team. Does that make sense? So, because if they understood the benefit, they'd be like, I don't care what the rules are, I'm going to force them to use you. But you haven't done a good job of being like, look, let me tell you why it's beneficial to have a preferred notary. And here's what you can say to take any realtor off the defense, whether it's me or somebody else. So I want to let you know of the reason why it benefits you to have a preferred notary, whether it's I'm the notary or you pick another notary. But here's why. And then go into, I don't want to give all the goodies away on this free live, but let me go through some of the goodies, okay? So, like, why would you've never met the notary the title company's picked. So why would you trust a notary you've never met when I can do everything you want me to do? Is the notary from the title company getting your reviews at the closing table? Oh, they're not. Is the notary that they're hiring from the title company going to your office and picking up your realtor swag to drop off for you? Oh, they're not. So you got to, like, she goes, oh, Amy, so let me get this straight. You would, like, get a referral for me? Yeah, I would do that because I know that helps grow your business. Or, like, Amy, you would drive across town to pick up swag from me so I can leave them with a big sign that says, Compass Real Estate? Yeah. So what you're not showing her yet is why having you on the team benefits them. Like, this is what I would do for you. If I was your preferred notary, again, maybe I'm not, but if I was, here's the list of things I would do better than the notary you've never met at the title company. Does that make sense? Because the moment they go, oh my gosh, Amy, I had no idea, like, a notary would even run into my office and get a coffee mug with our company name on it to drop it off at I would do that for you. Does that make sense? So what happens a lot of times is the student, what I love about you, Amy, is you're an implementer. So I love that about you. And so let me just communicate that sometimes it's still a learning curve.
Yeah.
So you're just learning. Don't get discouraged. All part of the thing. That's why you came on the coaching call. So I don't want you to forget what you did. I want you to add to it. Does that make sense? You've done a great job up to this point. Now all you're adding to your conversation is the benefits. Because if they knew the benefits, then they would go to war for you. Does that make sense? Like, if they knew, like, oh my God, like, Amy, you're going to get me a referral at the closing? Yeah. You'll get me a testimonial, I mean? Yeah, what? They'd be like, so the title company's notary doesn't get you testimonials? They're like, oh my God, well, what do I got to do to get you on my team? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So don't forget the benefits. I'm proud of you. I hope today helped, girl. Keep building. Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, bye. There was so much to unpack about that amazing conversation. What I'll wrap up with, again, if you are a notary signing agent, you want help building this business, get on here right now. I want to help you. LinkedIn, people expect cold messaging from LinkedIn. Take advantage of that. Okay, let me say it one more time. If you're a loan signing system student, I have scripts on that. But you should be doing cold marketing on LinkedIn because they're expecting cold marketing. So utilize LinkedIn in your hometown to meet new realtors you've never met before, because we all expect some type of cold messaging from other people. That's what literally LinkedIn is there for. So make sure that you guys do all of that. How's everybody doing? Let's go. Man, my name is Mark Wills. If you don't know who I am, I happen to be a coach to so many amazing signing agents. Someone is gone. Queen Songbird, are you there?
Oh,
How are you?
hi. I'm
Hi.
okay. How are you?
Good. So
I
tell
didn't
me
know
your
that you
name,
would
where
speak
you're.
to me.
Yeah, girl, I'll speak. Absolutely. What is Tell me your name, where you're from. Okay, let's have a
My
conversation.
my name is Nia. I'm from Virginia.
Oh, we got two people from the VA. Isn't it like this? The VA, two up, two down.
Two two up, two down.
That's right, BA. Okay, so talk to me, girl. What can I help you with?
Well, I just had a quick
Yeah.
question. It's nothing serious.
Yes.
Because my mom just finished and she got your class and she did her thing. Yes. And so I really want to be a part of it, of course,
Love it.
as well, because I'm
Love it.
really excited.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
nurse and did the daytime.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious because on my
Yeah.
downtime, I study.
Yes.
And so I want to be able to do it while I'm
Yes.
on the downtime, but
Get
I
it?
obviously don't have my
Yeah.
computer with me. So I'm wondering if I can do it mobily
Yeah. So we
on,
use.
if I can do it, not just mobily, but can I do it with her account as well? And
Yes.
then do like she says
Yeah.
and just pay for
Yes.
my,
So, yes, yes, and yes, I want to say I'm so proud of you only because you're a doer. Like, I mean, doers do. Everyone has excuses, but you're making reasons. So I want to say, I make sure I commend you on that amazingness. So the answer is yes. I don't ever charge a whole nother course for family. All you got to do is pay for the certification. It's only 47 bucks. So yes, 100% user login when you're ready. Only one certification comes per course, obviously, but I would only charge you 47 for that secondary. So just email me and I'll give you a link to it when you're ready. But yes, I mean, we use Thinkific. That's the learning software that you can access that mobily. So whether you're at
Thinkific.
work, at home, wherever,
If
but
you
just
would
log into your mom's.
send me that link in my DM so I can do
Yes.
it.
So we'll actually just use the same login as your mom's. That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when you're ready, only one certification comes with that. So just email me when you're ready and I'll give you the certification for $47, super cheap. But I would never charge you a whole nother course. And a rising tide lifts all ships. So I am so glad you are here.
Yeah, my mom got it, and I can't wait to do it. And we're just riding along, and I'm just
I,
excited because
I
we're
love it.
she's the
Yes.
best, and yeah.
Oh,
And I
so
just want to be
we have
doing
a
it during my
I
downtime.
love it. We have
So
a DMV group, so make sure you and your mom join it. So
the
I said one of the other students, we
DMV
have
group.
a attorney state group. We also have a DC, Maryland, Virginia group
Okay.
led by our amazing ambassador Brad. He's does over $1 million a year from
Yeah,
Virginia, DC, and Maryland.
you're right.
So you guys are in great hands as far as having a leader in that part of the country. And anything you need, he is an extension of me, but you can always DM me. You know I got you. But congratulations on the effort, because I tell everybody I can teach everything but the effort. Everything else is
I got
easy.
the effort
That's
all the way. Yes.
that's what I'm saying, girls. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you are here. And let's
Let's
go, Fatima, if you
go.
need anything, okay?
Yes.
All right,
Let's
let's go. Bye. Oh my God. I
Bye.
love every Monday I get on and I get juiced by you. Like, I mean, like, honestly, it's the doers that get me excited. And I'm just one person of this amazing community. So I'm so honored to be it. And I just love, I get energy from you guys, building more, doing more. And that's why I refuse not to be here every Monday that I can to help you grow your business, even if you're not a loan signing system student. Costanza, what's up, girl?
Hey,
Yeah, how you been?
good, good. I have been busy, so that's good.
Well, it's busy because you are putting in the work. Let's go.
Yes. So recently I went into this full time got you know out of my 9 to 5 job and really seen the difference that I can market and network. So that's been nice.
Oh, so you just made the transition
Yes.
from part-time to full-time.
Yeah, I was pretty
Oh my
scared.
girl, that had to take some guts. And that is why you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Here's what I'm not going to, I want to just say this. Most people don't bet on themselves.
Yeah.
You
It's hard.
just did. I know, that's my point. And I want to make sure that you get your flowers. Most people have imposter syndrome. Well, what if A, B, and C negative happens? Well, you thought, what if A, B, and C positive happens? And
Right.
it's so hard to click that little button because you know everything could go wrong, but you know what? Everything could go
Yeah.
right. And so
Yeah.
that's what you've chosen. And so I want to make sure that you get your flowers, you inspire other people, because
Mhm.
not everybody bets on themselves. Everyone talks themselves out of doing something versus talking themselves into doing something.
Right.
And you, girl, talk yourself into it because you have self-belief right here. And so I want
Yeah.
to make sure that I commend you on that and everyone gets inspired by you.
Mhm. And
So
I've
to the moon.
definitely seen a difference, because before it was like, oh, I could only do evening signings or whatnot. And now it's like they love the fact that I can do anytime. And yeah, so it's been really helpful. And a couple weeks ago, I heard you giving pointers on how to market for realtors.
Yep.
So I used that same script that you gave, and I went to a meeting and they loved it. And they're like, oh my gosh, and it was their team meeting, and they were like, we want preferred notary. Like, this is, we want the signings done here in our office.
Okay, hold on. So I want everyone to hear this, okay? So you took the scripts from the course, you walked into a real estate office, you said the script,
Yes.
and you're getting business from it.
Right.
Okay.
And they actually want me to be their
Hold on.
preferred.
I want everyone to hear this because successful people just implement. And again, I want to give you credit for that because effort equals signings. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're like, hey, Mark, you told me this script works to real estate agents. I'm going to say it. And so a lot of people go, well, Mark, I'm slow. And I'm like, no, you're not slow. You're just not doing what the course says. And so I want you to inspire everybody that you're just doing laying the foundation of what I told you, and you building your business upon it.
Right.
And so that is what makes you amazing. So I didn't want to steal all the thunder, but I felt like sometimes people go, well, Mark, what's slow? And I'm like, well, how many open houses have you been to? How many realtors' office? They're like, none. And I'm like, that's why you're slow. But you are the opposite. You are like, Mark, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And that is the running theme of all of our successful students, that they're just implementers. And so I'm proud of you. I hope that inspires other people to do what you just said you did. I took the scripts, talked to real estate agents, and now we're at the next step. So girl, you're an inspiration to so many. Let's go.
It was amazing. Yeah. I'm kind of like, where do I do when I feel like an escrow officer? Like, I had one that was a couple, like, in the next city over, and I did an escrow with her. I feel like everything went good, but I haven't like heard back from her. I've tried following up, and so I'm hoping like she was satisfied with everything. But how do I continue to like still follow up with her? And
it's a great conversation. The first thing I need to remind you of is you're amazing. And I think a little bit of self-doubt's creeping in because you're not calling you back. But remember this, Kenny, this is very important for everyone to remember. When you're a new notary marketing to an escrow officer, you obviously know they have a relationship with a current notary.
yeah.
So the fact that you got in through the back door is the win. Okay, so remember, it's not that they don't love you yet, it's that they're just feeding their main notary.
Right.
So that is the answer to what I'm trying to teach you, is you need to respect the relationship between the current notary. So when you do the follow-up, it is, you mention that. You're like, oh my gosh, it's me again. I just want to say, whenever your current go-to notary who's amazing isn't available, I'd love to be your girl.
Yeah.
That puts them off the defense. Does that make sense?
Right.
You think it's something wrong with you versus them having a relationship with somebody else.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you're in a relationship. You're in a relationship?
Married.
Okay, cool. Married. So a guy talks to you and at a bar and you turn him down, is because that person's a bad person or is because you have a husband?
Husband.
That makes sense? But you're taking it as if you're a bad notary versus what?
They just are kind of loyal to their...
That's right. So your job is, what you got to understand, it has to be a slow but sure escalation to where you want it to be. Instead of getting down on yourself. Does that make sense? So all you should say is like, oh, well, they have a relationship. Of course they do. You know that. So now your job is, my guess, actually, and what makes this business beautiful, is you were probably the third notary on the list. Their go-to notary wasn't available. Their backup wasn't available. Like, oh, we're going to try that new girl who's been marketing to us. Like, girl, that's a win. Like, you're in the front door.
Yeah.
So now all you got to do is like kind of wiggle your way in by just staying consistent, still showing gratitude. And by not ignoring their relationship. Let's go back to the marriage analogy. You're at a bar, right? Some guy walks up to you, sees your ring, is like, oh my gosh, you're married, but I just want to say hi, I'm from here, I'm not from here. Because they acknowledge your relationship, are you more apt to have a conversation with them? That
Yeah.
makes sense?
Right.
So if they're like, hey, what's up? You're like, oh, it's gross. Like, don't you see I'm
Yeah.
married? But the moment they acknowledge your marriage, what comes down?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah. I
wallet
get.
comes down,
Right.
right?
Right.
So my point is, they're like literally dating or being married is no different than the notary business. They're married to their current notary.
Mm-hmm.
So your job is to keep showing them why you're better than their current notary. And that's going to be slow but surely. So
Okay.
my coaching to you is don't get down. This is amazing. The fact that you're able to break in is what I coach. So now
Yeah.
your job is just to be consistent,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge their current relationship, and then do this with 8 other escrow officers in town. And of the 8, you'll slide in with 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
So now it's just a numbers game. Does that make sense? Stay consistent, acknowledge the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then keep doing all the gratitude. And by the way, you can show them gratitude in 6 weeks for the signing they gave you last week. Like that doesn't lessen, like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna hear about pop by because I want to say thank you again for using me 3 weeks ago. Like
Right.
there's no like expiration date on
Okay.
gratitude. Does
Okay.
that make sense? So
Yeah.
just show them that you're appreciative, you're full of gratitude, you're thankful. And if their go-to notary goes on vacation, gets sick, you're still there. But what
Mm-hmm.
happens a lot of times is notaries don't get in on these coaching calls and they do a great signing with somebody and they think they don't get a phone call back because they did something wrong versus they've just been in a relationship with someone else longer than you,
Yeah.
which is okay. But you just got to be consistent because that notary will get sick again. That notary will be
Right.
running late to an appointment. The notary won't be able to go to a 4 o'clock because they called at 3. But now that you're full time, the catch is this: you got to become the backup to like 8 different notary escrow officers and see which ones stick.
Mm-hmm.
You should not have an expectation that you're going to be able to replace the number 1 notary on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But you're kind of having that expectation today. But that's why you got to coach, girl. Don't
Yeah.
trip. Okay. So
Yeah.
just
Thank you for
reassess
that
your expectations.
reminder. Yeah. Yeah,
You're
and I
welcome.
love the videos where you said, we are our biggest competition. There's room for a lot of notaries to be successful because I think like coming from a small town when there's like other loan signing agents, it's kind of like people put you in a like, oh, like I use this notary or you know what I mean? Like and I'm like, oh no, I'm happy for that notary too. But
Yes.
because my coach told me like, hey, we're all rooting for each other.
That's
There's
right.
business. It's not like scared.
That's right.
Where I think people automatically think like realtors and realtors are going against each other's like notaries and notaries. But
That's right.
I think that yeah, it's just there's business for all, and I think I appreciate you always reminding us that.
You're welcome. So I'm going to end with this. I am so proud of you. You bet on yourself. You
Mhm.
gambled on yourself. You believed in yourself. The scariest thing to do in life is believe
Yeah.
we can do something. And so I'm so proud of you for that. I'm proud of you for the effort
You.
using the scripts. Your job now is to multiply your effort. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going
Yes.
to end with this. Okay. I'm going to end with this. You ready? Here's the biggest pitfall for my students who go from part-time to full-time. Okay. You ready? When we're part-time signing agents, we only have X amount of hours a day to market.
Mm-hmm.
So because time is scarce, guess what we do? We market. But when we go full-time, time is no longer scarce. We have all day. So what do we tend to do subconsciously? Take our foot off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to still market like you're part-time. Does that make sense? When you
Yeah.
are part-time, you're like, man, I got to go to this networking event tonight because that's the only time I have to market. So guess what you
Right.
do? You never make an excuse to not go to the networking event.
Mm-hmm.
But what that's called is you created a sense of urgency when you're part-time.
Right.
You got to stick with that sense of urgency while you are full-time, excuse me. Because what happens is we go to part-time to full-time and the sense of urgency leaves us. And then we're like, well, why am I not scaling as fast as I thought? And it's only because you're not marketing as hard as you were when you were part-time. Does
Right.
that coaching
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
You
Still treat it like a business and clocking in and you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yes.
Yeah.
And we tend to not to when we're full-time. And we're like, oh, well, I'm just going to do that tomorrow. Oh, I'm just going to do that at 10 a.m. when it's 8. And then 10 a.m. hits and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that at 1. And then, 1 o'clock hits. You're like, I'm just going to push it off till tomorrow. But when you're part-time, you can't do that.
Right.
So what helped
Right.
you get here was your sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
So my coaching is don't lose it. Because
Okay.
that's what happens though to a lot of my students who go from part-time to full-time, and then 3 months later, they're like, well, Mark, I'm confused why my business isn't 10X. And I'm like, because your effort wasn't 10X. You didn't stay with the same level of urgency.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's good.
So
Thank you.
you're so welcome. You know I'm your biggest fan. Keep doing
Yes.
it, and I'm a call away. All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye. Oh my gosh, what an incredible day. Man, I hope we got so much out of today. Let me unpack my last conversation with her. Is if you learn to always operate with a sense of urgency, your business always scales. And look, I'm guilty at sometimes forgetting this, so I don't want to come off like I'm on a soapbox. You know, loan signing system could grow even faster, but sometimes I lay off. But I got to constantly remind myself, because remember, business is about discipline. I'm not more disciplined than anybody else, but I will hold myself more accountable than most. When something doesn't scale, it is my fault. When I don't hit my goals, it's my fault. No one else's fault. It's mine. I hold myself accountable. So remember, business is about creating urgencies. Success is, I don't care if you're an employee for a company. If you're not working with a sense of urgency, then how are you going to show your boss you deserve a raise? How are you going to show anyone you deserve a promotion? Sometimes we like, because remember this, complacency is the enemy of success. I said that one more time. Complacency is the enemy of success. So whether you're an employee for your employer, or whether you're building your own business, you're going to full-time to part-time to full-time. If you're not always operating with a sense of urgency, that's why your business isn't the way it is. This is why your life's not the way it is. Because you got to be operating this, I got to do it now, not yesterday. That's what successful people do. By the way, that doesn't mean you burn out and work 24 hours a day. You still take time for mental health breaks. You still take time for vacations. But when you're on the clock, when you clock in, it's a sense of urgency. It's how fast can I get this done? I need to figure out what I got to do, what triggers I got to pull, what levers I got to pull to get where I want to go. So remember, operate with a sense of urgency in everything you do. When you clock in, it's 100 miles per hour. Sometimes we clock in and it's 10 miles per hour. Then we're like, why didn't we get a raise? Why isn't our business big enough? If you could always operate from a sense of urgency while you're clocked in, it's over. Because most people don't. Most people get complacent. Complacency is the enemy of success. So go all in. What an incredible Monday. My name is Mark. I'm so honored to be on here for a little bit of time with you. I end every single one of my lives with the exact same statement. And that is, I believe in you so much. Well, Mark, you don't even know me, man. Why would you say that all the time? Because I know what cloth you're cut from. That's why. Only 10% of this country are entrepreneurs. 90% of the country works for 10%. You're part of the 10% that took a bet on themselves, gambled on themselves, believed in themselves. You are courageous. You're a risk taker. You are brave. You are strong. So when I say I believe in you, it's because I'm trying to remind you what you come from. Me and you are cut from the same cloth. That we want more and we do more to get more. So I end every single one with the same phrase. I believe in you so much because I know who you are. But I cannot believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Let's go! I'm out of here. Be blessed.